Abuse of power is wrong, and some of the most egregious abuses are those committed by law enforcement acting lawfully under the authority of their office. Fortunately, the United States Constitution has the Bill of Rights, which guarantees all persons in this country protection from government misconduct. The right to be free from excessive force, the right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures, and the right to be free from cruel and unusual punishment are fundamental rights protected by law. If a law enforcement officer violates these rights, you might be able to recover compensation for medical bills, pain and suffering, punitive damages, and more, depending upon the circumstances of your situation. The most notable case in which police officers commit civil rights violations are unlawful shootings. In 2017, 987 people were killed in police shootings, according to the Washington Post's police shooting database. And many more shootings resulted in catastrophic but non-fatal injuries. Some of these uses of deadly force were justified, but many were not. Less than lethal force can also cause catastrophic, life-altering injuries. Any use of excessive force by a police officer is a violation of the victim's civil rights, regardless of the type of force used. There's no excuse for police officers acting with excessive force, and offending officers should be held accountable for unlawful actions. Another type of police misconduct is the wrongful arrest without probable cause. Arresting a person without probable cause is the same as kidnapping, and it can have devastating financial, emotional, and physical consequences for the victims. Persons who are wrongfully detained may be entitled to compensation once they're exonerated. Also, you don't lose your civil liberties in prison. When someone's in jail or in prison, they lose their freedom, not their civil rights. Unfortunately, there's widespread evidence of misconduct by corrupt jail and prison staff who physically and sexually assault inmates and grossly neglect their medical needs. In a 2010 report on physical and sexual assault in male prisons, 21% of the 6,964 inmates who participated in the study claimed to have been physically assaulted by a staff member, and 1.98% claimed to have been sexually assaulted by a staff member. In both sets of statistics, staff on inmate physical and sexual assault occurred more frequently than inmate on inmate assaults of the same kind. It should be noted that any sexual contact between inmates and staff is unlawful, as determined by the National Prison Rape Elimination Commission, or NPREC. The commission was established after the Prison Rape Elimination Act of 2003 was passed in order to establish guidelines for the act. Establishing that there's no acceptable sexual contact between inmates and prison staff is important because one study cited in a Mother Jones report found that 66% of reported incidents of sexual misconduct by prison staff involved inmates who appeared to be willing. Prison staff sexual assault is even more prevalent among female prisoners. Female prisoners make up just 7% of the total prison population, according to Mother Jones, yet they represent 33% of all victims of staff on inmate sexual abuse. That's a significant percentage for a group that makes up less than 10% of the total prison population. It's possible that the rate of sexual abuse is actually much higher among inmates than what's known, because the NPREC also learned from its investigation that the sexual abuse of inmates is underreported. There are several reasons inmates don't report the abuse, including the fear of retaliation by the perpetrator, desire not to be labeled as a snitch, feelings of shame and humiliation, or expectations that staff won't help them, according to NPREC's findings. Outside of acts of physical and sexual assault, prison staff can also commit civil rights violations by not acting when they should. One example of deliberate indifference is when a prison staff consciously ignore the serious medical needs of an inmate, which results in more significant injury than would have otherwise occurred if the inmate had received medical care. Another instance where not acting can lead to civil rights violation involves jail suicides. Suicide is the third leading cause of death in U.S. prisons and jails and has increased sharply in recent years. If an inmate is known to be suicidal, but jail officials fail to act on that knowledge, this can also be a civil rights violation. If you had your civil rights violated by a government official, fill out a contact form to be connected to an attorney in the Law Center network to learn if you have a viable claim. Find the link for the contact form in the description portion of this video.